Hello everyone, and welcome to this video where we will be doing some service items on the MAG-12008 lawnmower blade cleaner. We'll be opening up the pulley cover to show you where you would change the belt, how to tension the belt, and then we'll be also getting into where the brush cavity is and showing you how the brushes come off the unit. First of all, we have an information decal on all of the blade cleaners that explain how to adjust for belt tension as well as how to adjust the brushes. So what we're going to be doing, everything is controlled with these two knobs. There's one knob on the side. This one is used for brush wear or to make the cleaning more aggressive. So this knob will move this brush closer to the other one on this side, which this one on this side is fixed inside the machine. This knob can move the motor backward or forward to adjust the belt tension. So one common problem that can happen is if the belt tension is too loose and you stick a blade into the brushes and you're able to stop the brushes, anytime you're able to stop the brushes, you probably do not have enough belt tension. And the way to increase the belt tension is by moving this knob counterclockwise. That will push the motor back. And you can even see this. If you move the knob, you can see that the motor will start moving backward, and that is going to put more pressure onto the belt. And this knob, same situation, counterclockwise to move the brush, again, away from this side towards the other brush. So when increasing brush pressure, you will do equal turns on this knob and this knob to maintain the situation. Another thing to point out is there's a kick guard here. This guards you against the brush on this side that is rotating towards you. The guard protects you from the blade getting pushed by that brush. When you move the brush inward for wear, you will need to loosen these two bolts and also move the kick guard back, because as the brushes both get smaller in diameter, you'll adjust this along with moving the brush and then adding belt tension again. To remove the pulley cover, if you need to inspect the belt tension or if you're taking the brushes off, you'll be removing 6 bolts around the outside. You'll need a 1/2 inch socket. Before we can remove the pulley guard, the knob has to be removed because there won't be enough clearance because we'll be pivoting the pulley guard forward. You'll need a 3/4 wrench. Now if it's a bit tight and you're unable to hold on to it, you can use an oil filter wrench or a strap wrench or a big channel lock on the back of the knob. Now we'll pivot this forward. And now we have access to the pulleys. We're able to inspect the belt, see the pulleys, and here you can see there's a pulley for each brush, and then the belt goes back to the motor pulley. Now we're ready to check the belt tension. We're going to be doing it with a belt tensioning tool. This tool is a spring-loaded plunger that I can set an O-ring to a specific number of pounds and then push against the belt. We'll also need an accurate scale or ruler to be able to hold and give ourselves a reference point of how far we're pushing the belt in when we push with this tool. And so now I've moved an 1/8 inch at 5 pounds. So we have proper belt tension on the MAG-12000 blade cleaner. Now if you don't have one of these tools, you can still do this with a ruler, but then you need to either use a scale or something to push down on to give yourself a sense of about what 5 pounds of pressure is, and you can push here and then measure how far you push the belt based on that too. It's a little bit, it's a little less scientific way of doing it, but it is another way of getting the job done. Now we're ready to take off the bottom cover to be able to access the brushes for removal. Let's first take out the 4 bolts. There's 2 on this side and 2 on this side of the bottom cover, because they'll be easier to access now. Now we'll need to tip the blade cleaner on its face so that we have the easiest access for getting to the underside. And by having this in this orientation, we now have access to the last 4 bolts to take the bottom cover off. The bottom cover just pulls off of the unit. It's a little tight around the rubber feet. We have this piece of UHMW on the inside as a wear pad for when your blade is sliding in and out, as well as for the brushes. You may need to replace that as well. While we're looking at the underside of the machine and getting a view of the brushes, I want to draw again your attention to this kick guard and why it's important that you move it as the brushes wear and get smaller in diameter. Again, this brush is rotating towards the mouth, this brush is rotating away. So they're counteracting at the point of intersection. But if this kick guard wouldn't be there, you would have the ability of putting the blade in a little diagonal and having it get kicked back at you. This kick guard prevents that from happening. But as the brush gets smaller, you'll need to move this over so that this brush will still contact the mower blade. Now to remove the brushes. You'll need a 15/16 wrench and another large wrench or a piece of metal that you can stick into the pulley in the rear to prevent the brushes from rotating as you're trying to take the nut off. Now do keep in mind this is a left-handed thread, so we have to go clockwise to take it off. We do recommend using some nice heavy leather gloves, preferably welding gloves, to handle the brushes, because you will have to manipulate them a little bit past these 2 lips to get them out. Now you'll see that I have the first brush off. There are spacers between each brush. Again, just to review, when putting new brushes back in, spacer first, and then start putting the brushes in. Now we can finish torquing that up and we could close the bottom. And that's an example of how you would take the brushes out. Of course, we would do both sides, and these brushes would normally be worn, but I'm doing this on a brand new unit. That gives you the steps for how to remove the brushes at the time of replacement. I hope that helps. Thanks for watching.